Boom, baby, we're live. Welcome. First ever episode of the Crypto Minute, where I give you a quick rundown of data and information that just hit my desk regarding the 2025 bull run. And it is pure data. So jumping right into it, the title of this video is Tracking Bitcoin ETF Inflows to Predict When Bitcoin is going to hit $120,000. Now, if you want to make money in cryptocurrency, the bottom line is this: if you are not basing all of your information on data, pure data, not speculation, not hopes, not this guy said he's going to do that, not any kind of hope or dream, right? We say hopium or copium, right? None of that. You don't want any of that. Okay. You want pure mathematics. And I'm going to show you what I just cranked out right now. Shout out to my brother, Lord Venom. What is up to you, man? Shout out to you. You're the first member. I salute you to ever tune in and watch the Crypto Minute. So I've been crunching a bunch of numbers, and I want to show you what exactly I've been working on here. Okay. With the Crypto Minute, just so you know, it's always going to be sporadic and kind of randomly. It's just basically as soon as data hits my desk, I am going to get on here and show you the data. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys something. So the most important thing you want to be tracking during this bull run is you want to be tracking the ETF inflows. Okay. Now the ETF inflows, it is the money coming in through the big institutions. Okay. So here is this, and this is a really valuable episode. I'm going to be putting this on a playlist as well, so you can rewatch it, because this is how you get educated. Okay. I'm going to get off the screen here because I really want to just make sure the data is, taking precedent of your attention here. So here we have IBIT. This is the most important one to follow because this is BlackRock, and BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. They basically control the world. The CEO is Larry Fink. So you definitely want to keep an eye on what IBIT is doing. So this is a spot Bitcoin ETF inflow indicator. Now here is the zero line here. Okay. And the price going up or down, that is the y-axis. And then the zero right here is the x-axis, and then also this is indicating time. Okay, so it's price and time. Now, as you can see, the ETFs were launched on January 11th of last year, and the first day we had a massive day, $750 million of inflow. Okay, now we had an all-time high of Bitcoin during that time, and it went up to about $73,000. That was on March 14th. I'll never forget that day. I was in Hawaii on that day. And the Bitcoin ETFs, they started, I'm going to zoom in for you guys right here, okay? So you're going to see a direct correlation. So they started here on the 11th, right? And you can see immediately it started to dump in price, okay? It went from opening at about 46,000, and then it went down to about 42.5 thousand, okay? So what this is here is from the initial, oh, sorry, let me, sorry, I'm not showing the right, let me reshare this correctly. Yep. Apologies, take a look here. Okay. So now this is a steep drop off here. You can see, okay, pretty big. And people were like, oh, ha, ha, ha. The ETFs are a joke. What a joke. Yada, yada, yada. Right. Now, BTC is something you want to pay attention to. That's this company here called Grayscale. You see this? And the majority of their positions regarding the ETF was selling. Okay. They had approximately 300,000 Bitcoin, and this company's in trouble. So they've been selling their Bitcoin. And a lot of people think they've been selling it to BlackRock and these other people, because as you can see, it kind of matches up nicely here. The days that the selling and buying are kind of like, equaled out to a degree, right? You can see Grayscale is just dumping literally $500 million a day on average initially. You see that? See that? So this was really suppressing the price of where it could actually go, right? Despite that, we still had an all-time high in March 14th, 14th, going back to Bitcoin here. Okay. So here you can see we started to drop off and people are like, oh, ha, 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 everything is trash. You know, these ETFs are trash. And then we started to turn around here. So let's take a look here. This is January 26th, right? So January 26th, we had a pretty nice day. We went up from 40,000 to about 42,000-ish, right? It's not bad for a single day of Bitcoin. And that right there is was the start of something phenomenal. That was January 26th. This is a year ago, mind you. Okay, so let's go back here and let's just see what we have here. Okay, and then January 26th here, we had a good day of inflow, about 270,000 or $270 million, right? And I believe that was like the really starting point of things turning around, because then they have the weekend breaks, but then you can see the ETFs, they started to make a little bit profit. And I think, you know, word traveled around the institutions and they're like, hey, if you want to make money, you know, you should buy in. Bob bought it in January. Bob bought it in, you know, February. Look at the profits. Look at the profits. And some of these days were just insane. Okay. Like this is like $893 million inflow. And I think the first $1 billion day was the day. Yeah, it was on the 11th. This is the first day that collectively all ETFs put in $1 billion for the price to go up. So let's take a look here. That's 311, right? And I'm predicting this probably somewhere. Yeah, so it's right here. Yeah, see, this is the big green candle right here. Welcome, James, to the show. Looking fresh. You get a haircut?
Yeah, you know, I was, sporting the shag, and I, chopped off size of it. I cleaned up the size.
You look good. You look nice and young. Real quick, guys, this is going to be one of the co-hosts of the Crypto Minute. This is James, and he has been working with us on the Tokyo Love Show, and he really has been involved in the TradFi industry, working as multiple positions, you know, director of finance, CFO, all these great titles, managing literally multiple seven-figure, you know, a lot of money, basically. I'm trying to tiptoe. I don't know how much you want me to say, James. But he is been a really good voice of reason for us in our research team and on the Tokyo Crypto Show. If you're not watching the Tokyo Crypto Show, definitely hit that subscribe button on my channel and find it. It is every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So anyways, let's just go back here to what I was saying. Now, on that day, we had a pretty big candle up. And you can see, you know, like I say, let's just take a look here. This is February 28th. So let's just take a look here what we had on the inflows. And yeah, February 28th, yeah, we had, see, February 28th, we had $890 million of inflow in one day. And I think that at the time, that was the biggest day, maybe, oh no, 17th was the biggest day, but then that was the second biggest day of 2024 at this point in time. And as you can see, the price is directly related to the ETF inflows, but also the outflows. So then we had the top, that was on the 14th here, about like $73,000. And then unfortunately, we went into this crazy long, like consolidation phase here. And it was just a very long time. I would say we went from the 13th, we consolidated, let's just say March 15th, the day after the all-time high, we basically consolidated, which just means we were ranging, going up and down in this price range all the way until President Trump won the election. And I think that was a vote of confidence. And then we see some of the, you know, we had this crazy price action. Now, here we are again, since November 22nd, we have basically been ranging up and down and giving a bull market. When you see something ranging like this, we're typically going to go sideways, and it's either going to break upwards or break downwards. Now, because we are in a bull market, ideally, and statistically speaking, it's more likely to break upwards, but we do have to watch it on a day-to-day basis. Now, how does that affect the ETFs? So I was doing some data with Grok, and that's an AI here. And I was just kind of talking to it and running my thoughts through it. So for this price action here to happen, going back to Bitcoin and the ETFs, right? Starting here on the 11th and then peaking here. So approximately 2 months, right? we had about a 67% increase in Bitcoin's price. Now, the ETF inflows for that time was $12 billion. Okay. From here to here, averaging out the selling and buying every day, it was $12 billion. So behind the scenes, we were running some data and trying to figure out what is it going to take for Bitcoin to actually get to 120,000. And after running some data, we had come to some very interesting conclusions. So this is how I'm going to show you guys how you could do this at home as well. So do you have access to US ETF inflow data for Bitcoin, right? And then here we are. I use Grok just because it's simple and it's easy. ChatGPT is just a little too, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan, honestly. I could be wrong, maybe it's superior, but definitely not using DeepSeek because I don't want China spying on me. But anyways, as you can see here, I said how much money was inflowed into Bitcoin ETF in January to March 13th, 2024. And that was right here, $12 billion. Okay. And then as of right now, as of yesterday, with ETF numbers coming in, we did have a negative day yesterday. But collectively, so far this year, we have had $4.2 billion of inflow already this year, which is pretty good data, pretty large amount of money. Now, because the market cap of Bitcoin has gone higher, we will need more money to get to the next heights. Okay. So then we started just running some numbers. I said, how much was the Bitcoin market cap on January 9th, 2024? And it was here, approximately 0.9 trillion. So about $900 billion. And then I said, what is the amount of US dollars needed of ETF inflow in Bitcoin needed from January 1st to March 13th of 2025 to replicate the same percentage growth in price as Bitcoin from January 1st to March 13th, 2024. Okay, this is where it gets a little complicated, but this is the great thing about using AI. Instead of sitting here crunching the numbers yourself, you could use AI to kind of do it for you, and you can really, just kind of shortcut all of the math that would be necessary for you to do it. So initially I said you would need $27 billion. And I was wrong about that. And luckily the person who corrected me is this man right here, James. So James, the multiplier effect. So guys, just so you know, if you need a market cap to go up by, let's say $100 million, you actually don't need $100 million of cash inflowing into the market cap. Is that correct, James?
That's correct. That's correct. Because remember, as the money comes in, the supply of whatever remaining commodity, Bitcoin, whatever, it goes down, right? Because money crunches it and it pushes the price up. So your market cap doesn't need as much money to go up because price per the unit out of whatever you're buying goes up, right? Because you're assuming if you have the same amount come in, the price of whatever you're looking at Bitcoin per Bitcoin price, US dollar per Bitcoin price will stay the same, but it doesn't. As the money come in, it goes up, right?
Right.
That makes sense.
It does. If you could sit a little closer, because I think you're using the computer mic. You're coming out.
Okay. Better?
But yeah, way better. So anyways, back to this.
Let me get my this big black mic close to my mouth.
Got it. So let's go back to here. So then I said, what would that put the price of Bitcoin at March 14th, 2025? So given the same 67% growth, long story short, we get to about $171,000. However, I was wrong about how I asked ChatGPT this, and luckily I had James to help me out. So I said, can you adjust the price of the supply of Bitcoin reducing as it is purchased? This would cause the multiplier to increase. So we redid it, and two things that came out at the end. The next thing it said was we would need 22.67 billion, but this number was also wrong. And that would push the price up to 190. Okay. So we we redid this here and we said, how many billions of inflow do we need for Bitcoin to hit 120,000? So it adjusted this and it said right here. So right here, given the current inflows, it says this is adjusted for scarcity. And a conservative estimate is this $6.92 billion.
Well, round it up, 7 billion, 7 billion, right?
7 billion. $7 billion is what you would need in order to get Bitcoin to $120,000, right? So now here's the thing. If you go back to the spot ETFs, as you can see, the peaks of these are getting higher, okay? So here, the 2 days after Trump was elected, we had $1.37 billion of inflows, okay? After that, $1.1 billion of inflows, okay? After that, 840, but then if you just add the next day, that's just 1.3 billion. So right there, in about 5 days worth time, you have $3 billion going in. The rate of increase in these daily inflows is going up. As you can see, we're having bigger and bigger days. We have already started the 2020 off with a pretty big bang. Like I said, 900 million here, 978, basically 980 million here, and then 600 million here. We had a couple negative days, and I believe today, this data is a little bit, we're missing a couple days, but we did have a negative day today. However, after running these calculations, we did realize that this is totally achievable number, especially by mid-March. I feel, let me just check the chat real quick. But yeah, James, in the meantime, you're saying we could probably see that as early as mid-March is what you said?
Yeah, I think so. Because remember, can you guys hear me? I know there's a crazy Chinese New Year celebration going on in the background.
Pull the mic near you. I think you might have the wrong mic selected.
Okay, hold on. Better?
Oh, no. Yeah, it's there. It's perfect. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, one of the things is that just remember last week, Michael Saylor from Microstrategy bought $1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin just last week alone.
Yes.
Now think about that. And they just raised how much money to it's in billions. They said oh gee, let me see how many they want to issue more debt and more stock to buy more Bitcoin, and it's in something like a 42 billion. They want to raise 42 billion more to buy Bitcoin. And what's the other one that we just looked at? The Microstrategy of Japan. What's the name of that thing?
There's two now, but there's Metaplanet, and then Metaplanet is the main one.
Yeah, Metaplanet just raised what, 700 million for their Bitcoin purchase?
Yes,
750. So yeah. I mean, guys, this 7 billion is like nothing.
Yeah, and that's like I said, the only trackable data we have is the ETF inflow from America right now. Couple of things. One, there will be more ETFs coming. Two, this doesn't account for all the ETFs around the world. And three, this also does not account for big whales purchasing and buying. This is what James was talking about here. Every dot here is indicating a day where Michael Saylor has purchased. So this, let's just go to January, if I could zoom in properly. So, okay. I think, yeah, on January 5th, he bought 100 million. On January 13th, he bought 243 million. On January 21st, he bought 1.1 billion. That was last week. And then this week, he also bought 1.1 billion. So unless there's some massive sell-offs that are going to happen, I mean, Bitcoin, like I said, we have healthily been ranging in this area here on the chart. And like I said, this is what you want to be tracking. This is the ranging, right? When you're tracking what's going on here, as well as the ETF inflows. And again, like I've been saying, you could also track Michael Saylor, what he does on his X account here. This is just at SAYLOR. That is something that is very valuable to check out. And then there's another account here. If you just go to HODL 15 Capital, when you see this logo here, you can track it. So this spot, excuse me, this tracker is delayed about by 2 days. So I think the latest data they have is the 24th, and already the market has been opening past 2 days. So this is the 27th, and excuse me, I'm sorry, it's Tuesday in Tokyo, so no, they've only been open for 1 day. So yeah, they've been open for Monday, and Monday they did have a negative day. As you can see here, it's not fully updated, but Grayscale, they sold 109 million. Art Capital sold 50 million. Fidelia sold 270 million, and then Bitwise sold 88 million. iBit with 64 million. So iBit, which is BlackRock, they were the only ones that actually bought today. And the total ETF data for the day, I believe, was it was a negative day, minus 450 million. So going back to the math, we want Bitcoin to go to 120 between now and the 13th of March. This is an arbitrary number I chose because it was before the all-time high of last year. So that's about 32 business days, and we need $7 billion for that. So all you got to do at home is you can ask your AI, or, do a quick little thing here. Let's do 7 billion. So that's million, 1, 2, 3. And then just divide this by 32 days. Based upon the ETFs alone, we need over the next 32 days an average of $218 million just from the ETFs alone. This is assuming and accounting for the ETFs alone. But Saylor, he's been buying way more frequently since Trump won, right?
Yes. And remember, last big move for Bitcoin was beginning of November to like a second week of December or first week of December. And it went from below $70,000 pretty close to $110,000. So you're looking at probably around $40,000 to $50,000 move in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're talking about these candles right here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when this thing moves, it moves. The problem is that 80% of the time or more, it just goes sideways, guys. Yeah. So that's the problem, right? So the game is not really doing anything but waiting and sitting on your hands. Just buy it and sit on your hands. And doing nothing, sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And, you can try to time it, but, I would just make it easy on yourself. Just buy some when it's going sideways and just sit on your hands.
Yeah.
That's what
you're not going to time it.
It's tough. It's tough. It's really tough.
If you're going to time it, you wouldn't be here watching us.
You'll be waiting for Citadel making $500 million a year, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that was a big move. So, people just thought, people who are uneducated in crypto and just aren't really clear on the math, they just thought, oh yeah, we'll just keep going up. But the higher you go, the more money it requires. So this is why these institutions are a good thing, because they do have access to this insane kind of capital. And I said, if Michael Saylor starts doing what he did, like right here on the 10th, he bought $2 billion worth, which is insane. Okay. That's the 10th of November after Trump won. Right. And then after that, he bought $4.6 billion. That's like a week plus of all ETF inflows, probably in their best streak. And he bought it in one freaking day, 1 week later. So, and then another thing is this. So he bought here on the week, which is the 17th, and he bought here again on the 24th, and then he bought here again on my birthday, December 2nd. And then the rate at which he's purchasing is is increasing. I think it's at the highest it's ever been going back here, right? Yeah, the rate he's purchasing is the most frequent. It's getting to the point now where it's almost weekly.
And one of the chart I saw that was like incredible was the movement of Bitcoin on the exchanges, right? When the sideways action happens, the movement goes from the Bitcoin holders. The Bitcoin goes from the Bitcoin holders that holding less than one Bitcoin to the Bitcoin holders that's holding more than one Bitcoin. So when sideways happens, sideways action happens, the people that holds less than one Bitcoin, they get shaken out.
Yeah,
they give their Bitcoin, sell their Bitcoin to the people that are holding more than one Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So when the up move finally comes, they're kind of shit out of luck, right, guys? Because they sold it because they got shaken out on the sideways action, and the people that are holding more than one Bitcoin just kind of suck up all the small Bitcoin holders, and rich gets richer.
Yeah,
as we always say, right? So the problem now is that it's a waiting, right? I know this thing, we said, hey, it's going to go to 200,000, 250,000. Yeah, but remember, it never moves in a straight line, right? It moves in a step function, right, guys?
Only
so
after
it'll
Trump
go.
Does it go in a straight line?
Yeah, so it'll go up. It's just like working out. You cannot make a gain on your bench press like every day. You're going to be stuck at that plateau for a while until you figure out your nutrition, figure out the technique, figure out all these things. Then you can kind of move up to your next weight, right? So it's just like anything in life. Nothing moves in linear fashion forever. It's all done in a step function. So the hardest thing right now we can do is just wait or add. If you got dry powder, add. If you see a down day, add.
Exactly. And what James was talking about is actually, people were getting pretty hysterical when things were dropping a little bit. But the reality is, if you just zoom out and look at the 1 month period, if we go all the way back to, this is like what, December 30th, approximately, the 29th, right? So right before New Year's, we're at 94K, and then we crash a little bit down, 91, then we go up to 95, and then, we kind of stayed under 100K for not even a week, and people were losing their mind. And then we had the run up here, and then we had a dip, and then right before the inauguration, we had the all-time high, which was
That's right.
109, 114 here. That was on January 20th, 8 days ago. So again, we're just taking a little breather, but again, tracking these ETF inflows, and then also tracking Michael Saylor. You can just go to saylortracker.com right here, saylortracker.com, and you can see he has $48 billion. And I swear to you, he's got more people in the kitty for sure. He's in direct competition with BlackRock. Would you say so?
Yes. Him and BlackRock and Fidelity right behind. So just like John said, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the weeklies. Look at the monthlies, right? That will put you in perspective, because right now you're kind of getting lost in the you're not seeing the forest for the tree, right?
Yeah. Truly getting lost in the sauce, man. I mean, and because there's just so much bad information in crypto. Like in crypto, like when we saw $11 Ripple, like people are like $11 Ripple is coming, it's like, oh, okay. So if you just run the numbers, that means Ripple needs to have a $60 trillion market cap. So basically,
that makes no sense.
30x of what Bitcoin is right now.
Yeah.
30x. So that's it, guys. Just wanted to talk to you real quick and show you about the importance of tracking the ETFs and tracking the Saylor tracker. If you need more help with crypto, look at the description box below, click one of those links. You will be able to get help from me immediately, literally same day, because we are on the ball here and we are having a big focus on crypto in 2025. James, do you want to add anything in closing?
No, just be patient. Be patient. Remember, 80% of the time it moves sideways. So don't try to guess it. Don't try to outguess it. Just buy some when you got money, and just set still, then, you know, we all get rich.
Yep. Very, very simple. Trust the math. Don't trust the hopium. None of that. And yeah, thanks so much for watching us in the first episode. Watch us on repeat, take some notes, and we'll catch you later. Peace.